Hello, Fred. Thanks for having you on this panel. I'm nice. It's nice, and I'm happy talking with you about new initiatives in post-pandemic times for galleries and artists. You are a new gallerist, and I'm an old artist in the field of social artwork. So let's have fun and let's talk a little bit about this topic. My first question is, what are you doing to find new ways? What are you doing actually?
Okay, thanks very much for having me on the broadcast one. I don't think you're that old. You look very good. Okay, so how did I get into this? We seem to be living in a village or in an area which has been attracting artists for the best part of over 35 years, and it seems logical that with so much talent in the area, we should try and help to promote the artists and their work to a wider audience. So I started to look at what is available. So I started to look at what's available in the marketplace, in the world marketplace, and to me, the way they were doing business seemed very antiquated, and it didn't seem to apply in the way that we sell other products these days in the market. So after doing some research, I just had a look, and so I've lost my chain of thought, and I've forgotten the question. So let me just have a moment to rethink. What was the question, Juan?
Yeah. Finally, the question was only, what are you doing now? I think you are making research to find new opportunities for artists, and you're trying to identify new pathways to distribute and finally to sell art. So I'm thinking you might talk a little bit about this.
Yes, it's trying to find a different way to market art, given the current situation we are in with the pandemic. And yes, it's harder to actually get to exhibitions and meet people and network. So maybe we have to start looking at ways of doing this over the internet, using things like Zoom, video conferencing, virtual viewing rooms for artists. I'm at my early stages, so I see this as a bit of a growing or an organic experience, where I'm also relying on my artists who have a lot of experience, more experience, to also participate, so that we come up with a direction which will be beneficial for everyone, and also a fairer system. The traditional system seems to be focused on the gallerist and the art dealers having all the power and the contacts. I see more, the way I look at it should be that the artist should also have exposure to the contacts of the gallerist, and the way that the works are sold should be more transparent. Does that make sense? I'm going to need a bit of practice.
Yeah, I think it makes a lot of sense to look for these new pathways, and I appreciate, from the point of art, from an artist, from a productive artist, a lot. Every gallerist who is looking for new ways of distribution. my experience in the last years was that we have a lot of artworks for a little market. So it was totally unbalanced. And I think this pandemic event and the political reaction, this is only a kind of proxy, something like an amplifier who expand in all parts of economy what is going well and what is not going well. So it's up to everybody in the art market to rethink and redesign the way. From the point of the artist, as somebody who produce finally for the culture of a region or of the people of this world, finally, there are different things to say. So one is the freedom of free production is something which should be protected in all of this. So if we are not free to produce what we feel, what we need and want to produce, we are running by censorship and other things in a big mess. The second thing is we want to exhibit the work, we want to show the work, we want to give an audience a chance to pre-select and to evaluate what we are doing. And the third thing is always there are some collectors in the world. They know about the value of contemporary art and they want to promote and let's say they want to keep it in a way that it can survive. So the first step of culture is always that somebody is willing to make an investment in art. And this classical role of a gallerist to connect the artist as a producer with the selector who take care of that this art will become part of culture, this role has to be filled even in the future. So the question is how to identify these people and how to gather and even with social distancing and new technologies, how to publish what the producers are doing. I think this is a big challenge. And also, I think it will create new ways even of production by using modern technologies. So what we are doing here is finally part of social artwork, because it spread the idea of that we are not giving up, that we are just taking the challenge, and we try to find other ways. And we invite other people to join this panel as well as these initiatives to promote art. So can you give a sample what you found in your research about new ways, what you want to try next?
Well, if you look at the portals that were available to sell art, they seem to fall in two categories. There's ones which are targeted more towards the artist, and as I've said before, they expect the artist to have the time and the patience and the resources to manage their artwork online. Some of the artists I'm working with at the moment, I barely get a reply from their WhatsApp message within 4 hours, because they're either working on their art or they're doing something else with their life. So I find it very difficult that some of these portals assume that an artist who's spending a reasonable amount of their time creating new content and new works has the other part of their mind switched on to uploading their artworks and all the information and all the other security measures that you need to take into account to sell your work online. Those portals are taking the same gallery percentages for encouraging an artist to do the job of a gallerist on their site so that they can earn those commissions. I don't think that's correct. I don't think there are some artists that do it, and I've had a look at the artists on their portals. Some of them are very organized and they've got the same type of content that a gallerist would have on their online gallery on the portal. But the others are not organized. In fact, I would say, from what I've seen, 20% would be organized, 80% are not organized. So that's one set of the portals. The other portals seem to take into account that the gallerist still has a function and a job. The gallerist is basically there to act as a buffer between the artist and the collector or the end user who buys the art. They've got to try and make the process between taking the art from the artist or organizing the art from the artist, presenting it in an organized fashion, in an easy way to be sold to the buyer or the collector at the other end via either a gallery or an online platform. That's the other type of platform I found, and they're sort of taking the view that a gallerist is still important. They are possibly charging a monthly charge for the use of the platform, but they're reducing the commission on when the art is sold to a collector or an end user. Is that too much information?
No, it's quite right. You know, from the point of artist, you are a lot of times inspired when you look back in history, and it makes a lot of sense not only to look back 100 years and to think about the consequences of the Spanish flu in Europe for this actual pandemic. It also makes a lot of sense to look back as an artist, how it was to be artist in the last 2,000 years or maybe 5,000 years. So when you look back, you will see that the artist was on the economical side in the last 5,000 years, really somebody close related to economy and business and microeconomy. So these people 500 years ago, 600 years ago, before they started with painting, they already made up contracts. They were clear, clever, and strong businessmen, and they even started to paint in their studios after having this contract done in a way that they felt comfortable with it. So these skills of communication, the skills of marketing, of promotion, self-promotion is very important. Even in times with social distancing, it becomes more important. And the majority of artists are not prepared for this. Even it is not a big issue in art schools, how to promote your art. Many artists are not knowing anything about their rights, even rights which are not open for discussion. So you have rights of being the author of an artwork and other things which can't be sold to anybody. So there's a lot of unknown things from the side of the artist, and to bring light into this is a very good thing in these times. The other thing about the commission and about the work of a gallerist, even a contemporary gallerist, should use and work with contemporary tools. It is very important, and to share this makes a lot of sense. So now the line is broken, but it was a good test. Let's look how we go forward.